Okay, so Doctor Sleep, the new, very interesting film. Obviously, it's the next part after The Shining. Obviously, Stephen King's world that he's got. Everything connects. If you didn't know, with the Dark Tower, Langoliers, everything Stephen King's done connects in some form, either due to the Deadlights or The Shining, or The Shine, or whatever. It's one big world. But this Doctor Sleep film is obviously a direct sequel to The Shining, and if you haven't seen The Shining, it's one of the old, very classic, real well worth watching. So like messed up sort of horror films. It's just a great film, and then this really does a good job following it. So yeah, it's it's 2 hours and 31 minutes long. I couldn't see how much it cost to make, but yeah. So obviously, like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. Obviously, I always appreciate it, and check out my Twitch stream down below. There's a link for it. I'm busy playing new Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which is really good actually. It's not a letdown like the others. So yeah, so this film, you're basically, your protagonist is Danny, who was the small boy in the original Shining film, where he obviously met the cook, the black dude, where he also has the Shining, and teaches Danny about it, what it is. And now as he's older, obviously the black chef dude dies, but he still sees him as like a ghost or some sort of spiritual aid kind of thing. He keeps coming to him, because obviously the Shining, you have the ability, it's a lot of telepathy with it, it's a lot of connection to death with it, sort of thing. And within this film, he's he's like a lost man. His mother's died, his father obviously died, and he's just going place to place, and he ends up in a certain town, and there's these other people who have the Shine, who hunt down others that have it, and basically they kill them and absorb their essence to extend their life. So if this group of cultists basically hunt down others that have the Shining, and they call it steam. They kept calling it steam. They torture them, makes the steam more pure. Then they kill them, and then they just either capture the steam that's coming out, or they just absorb it straight away. And it expands their life and makes them more powerful, sort of thing. And that's basically the basis of it. Danny also meets a young girl at the age of 13, and she is very strong with it. She's very powerful, and this group catch on to her, and basically, she catches on to Danny. They sort of meet, and this evil group discover who this girl is. So it ends up becoming they want this real big catch of the young girl, and Danny's basically there to protect, tries to help protect and stop them killing this girl and stuff. So I know it's a lot goes on in this film. It's really hard to explain, but it's a really enjoyable watch, because it just heavily goes more into the Shine ability, what it can be used for, how you can trap dead people, so in your mind, and then be released, because he's got these boxes, sort of thing. It's a very interesting film, just because it's all to do with the telepathy and the power and the abilities you can have with this Shining ability. It's just a good film, that Danny does a very good job in it. He's hates it, but he has to embrace it, because it's obviously tortured him throughout his childhood. It caused his whole family to basically crumble. He's had demons basically stalking him throughout his childhood. He didn't like it, but for the sake of the girl, he has to start going for it, start using it, because he is strong with it. And there's a lot of homages to the old film. You see clips and you see images, and obviously you see the hotel. You know, very classic. You know, it's very nostalgic when you see that hotel again. You're like, wow, this is the place now. This is where it's all gonna fucking happen. And you know, the antagonist who plays Rose, she's like fucking. She does a real good job. She's like intimidating. She's smart. You tell she's calculating. She's just like the pure leader, and you know, she's like number one. And she's got a whole crew. It can be quite violent at some points, and it's not as like, you know, it's even though the name's so, I don't like the name Doctor Sleep, but the reason he's called Doctor Sleep is there's certain like bits in the film where he's working like a care home, and it isn't really a spoiler, it just makes sense of where the title come from. And basically before the old dudes die, there's a cat that goes to the beds and like jumps on the bed, and he also like goes to the person. They're like, oh, I know why you're here. My time's obviously coming to an end, and they call him Doctor Sleep because he always appears as the person's about to die, sort of thing. And one of the old dudes just call him Doctor Sleep just because, you know, they're there before they take their final long sleep, and that's where the name Doctor Sleep comes from, even though there's no doctors and it's all about death. So yeah, that's it. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this film. It's, you know, they did a good job of it, so hopefully it does perform well in the box office, because if you're a fan of The Shining, this is really nice follow on from it. But yeah, like, comment, share, subscribe. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.